Alright, sit the fuck down, fuckers, because I got a story to tell. Today, I had a day full of errands and appointments and all that kind of stuff. It started off with a doctor's appointment of seeing my family doctor, and I thought it would all be good news. I wanted some of my hormone prescriptions updated, and I wanted to get a letter for referring me to gender affirmation surgery that she had been promising me for a while, but I wasn't ready to receive the letter yet. So I had my appointment, and she said that she didn't feel comfortable administering my HRT, hormone replacement therapy, anymore because she didn't know enough about trans issues, and she felt that someone more qualified should do it, and so she wanted me to find another doctor for the longer term, but that she would be only willing to do it for now, for the short term. So that was upsetting news, because that's the first I've ever heard of that, and I've been on HRT with her since last year. So that was pretty upsetting. This came out of nowhere. She said no to giving me the letter for surgery, saying pretty much the same thing. She didn't feel comfortable doing it, and that I would need to find someone specializing in LGBT issues, as she didn't feel comfortable writing a letter that said, "Hi, Emily is my patient, and I've known she's trans since marked the date," which that's a little weird to me. And yeah, it was an awkward experience, and she gave me a blood work paper to go hand to the nurse to get some blood taken to test my potassium levels, and on that form it said sex, and what was checkmarked? Not female, but male. And what? What is that supposed to mean? On my birth certificate, it says female. On my health card, it says female. On my government ID card, it says female. If the government of Canada says that my sex, my gender, both, I mean, honestly, on the IDs it says sex, if they decide that my sex is female, then a doctor that is with the Canadian healthcare system doesn't get to say, no, your sex is not what you actually are, it's what I decide you are. And I'm sure that when I bring it up to her, she's going to fight me on this and say something, probably some weird reason like, oh, well, you see, there's differences in the levels of this thing and that thing in male blood and female blood, or something like that, and like, because you were biologically born male, we must keep it this way. Like, I'm sure it'll be something like that, but she doesn't have that right. There's nothing that gives her the right to decide that my sex is something that it isn't, that the government recognizes it isn't, and that I have determined isn't. It's not her. She doesn't get a say in that. And I found that very offensive, and honestly, I threw out the blood work paper and I didn't get it done. I'm not going to get it done unless she puts the proper sex on the paper. So that was one unpleasant experience that happened. After that, I went to my old work, which I've been on medical leave for quite a while from, due to my transition, and I had a talk with them about how I could return to the job, but that I no longer had the physical strength required to do the heavy lifting manual labor job that I had, as I've been taking hormones and it has reduced my strength level significantly. Then I got a stern talking to on how it's discriminatory to say that because you're a female now that you are weaker than a male, and that men and women are equal and have the same capabilities, and they know plenty of women who do the same jobs as men, even within the company, and that it was very uncalled for me to say that I would not be able to do the same work that I did as a male because I have lower strength now. So I got into a huge argument with them about that. Basically, I said, I don't really give a shit what you say. I'm taking hormones that are actively reducing my muscle level. I know my own strength. I know how strong I was. I did the job for so many years. I was one of the most senior employees, and I still am. I know the job better than anyone else on that shift. And I know for a fact that I wouldn't be able to do that same work now. But it didn't get resolved. So that was fucked up. The next thing on my list was going to my old bank, as I had never updated my name and information there because I don't live in the same area and it's difficult for me to get to. So I figured, hey, why not? I'm on a big errand day. Why don't I go stop at my home branch of my bank? And it took about maybe 45 minutes to get just my name and gender changed on my bank account. Insane. It didn't even take that long to wait to get my birth certificate changed when I was in line for that. My government Ontario ID card. That took like 15 minutes, and most of that was just waiting in line, not the actual service. So for them to take 45 minutes to change your name at a bank, that was pretty fucked up. But that's fine. I can understand. Maybe their system isn't set up to easily do this kind of thing. Maybe it's a complicated request. I can accept that. And that was great. But then as I was leaving, the lady that was helping me followed me out to the door, and she said, "I'm glad we were able to fix that for you. Everything's all good now." And basically the goodbye things, and that was great. But then she paused and she said, "Hopefully when you got your name changed, you got everything else changed with it too. ... And maybe I didn't put the emphasis correctly there. But it was everything. Like, that was the stress on it. Like, I knew what she was talking about, and if she was saying what I think she was saying, I am pissed. Like, she's basically implying, like, oh, I hope you got your genitals changed when you got your name changed. Like, what the fuck kind of comment is that? Who even says that shit? It's fucked up. Anyways, aside from the usual bullshit, I mean, I always get fucking harassed in some way when I'm outside, but I thought this was above and beyond the normal stuff, so I wanted to share. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys too badly.